The Environmental Protection Agency announced almost $5 million is coming to Chattanooga to help the city clean up contamination.
News 12's Scott Coral joins us now live in the studio with where some of that money is expected to go. Scott.
3.5 months ago, I did a story about the city looking for $21 million to help start the cleanup of the old wheland-foundry site, to build new green spaces for a new stadium, for the lookouts. The city asked the state government to help, but to no avail. So the city went higher. The EPA is making this brownfield and others in the city the same color as cash, green.
For every dollar that the federal government invests in this program, there's $20 more that gets returned in terms of economic development, job creation, and that sort of thing. So that's what will happen in Chattanooga as a result of this money.
The city will receive $500,000 for analysis of the sites, $500,000 for the cleanup of those sites, and $3.9 million for the city's revolving loan fund, which offers low-interest loans for the cleanup of brownfield sites.
When you take these blighted sites and you clean them up, you're creating jobs for people in the community to help with the redevelopment. You're empowering those neighborhoods to help make decisions about what they want to have in their neighborhoods. You are increasing the tax base. You are increasing property values. Property values go up 5 to 15%.
This is a distinct difference from the mid-1960s, when Chattanooga was considered the dirtiest city in America.
It's blamed on an atmospheric inversion that's kept the pollution from drifting away.
But the old foundry sites that were thriving then are vacant now, and they've left behind a legacy of toxins.
There's vapors, there's metals in the soil. Often they're abandoned. Old gas stations, old dry cleaners, old industrial sites are what we consider to be brownfields. And we want them to be greenfields. We want them to be functioning businesses that are giving back to the community. But they can't be now because they're dangerous. And they also can contribute to groundwater contamination as well as air pollution if there's contaminated dust that gets, and they're just ugly and not something you want to have in your community.
Priority sites for the brownfields cleanup are the wheland-foundry site, U.S. Pipe, and the R.L. Stowe mercerizing mill. The abandoned rail corridor, actually right across the street from this station, is also considered to be a part of the cleanup effort. But the EPA wasn't finished with Chattanooga. Some of the money that the city will receive from the agency is already going towards the cleanup of residences with lead contamination. There are more than 5,400 properties the EPA is focused on, and 2 of them are in Highland Park along 13th Street. The agency believes the old foundries would transport lead to homes, and residents would unknowingly use the lead as backfill to protect their properties.
A lot of these areas are low-lying, prone to flooding, and so especially as you'll see in Highland Park, where we're seeing some of our highest lead concentrations, is where this material was brought to. And because it's not naturally occurring in the soil, you know, we are sampling each property to indicate which residences are affected and which aren't.
Jeffries hopes residents in the focus areas will allow the EPA to check their property for lead contamination. The target area for the grant is South Chattanooga, one of the largest economically disadvantaged and majority African American communities in Tennessee. In the studio, Scott Coral, News 12 Now.